Well, good afternoon to you there, Mr. Various. How's it going?
It is not.
It's not going.
It is not going because I have bad news to share.
Yes, well, let's get into it then, and but then there is also some other updates that aren't in the realm of bad
Yes.
news
Do you
either.
want the good news first or the bad news
Well,
first?
let's start with the bad news.
All right. Well, we are going to be racing without our fuel in New York because the labels that were guaranteed to arrive by the 14th, and we gave them an extra day buffer just in case, that were supposed to arrive potentially early. Well, let's just say now they're delayed due to printer supply chain issues, whatever is the case.
Sure.
Long story short, they will only arrive on the 17th, which means there is no way for us to realistically ship them in time unless we wanted to pay like $6,000 for a bunch of energy drinks
Oh,
to
yeah.
get them in New York while we were there and while the show's going on. So, unfortunately, now I have to argue with these people for a refund. That's number one. And they're trying to say, well, you told us to proceed. And I'm like, yes, you guaranteed in writing they would be ready to ship by the 14th. Now it's the 17th. They're like, that's not our problem. I'm like, well, yes, it technically is. So, yeah, that's the bad news, not the end of the world, but it does mean we will be without our custom energy cans to hand out, which sucks because we planned it well over a month in advance. We placed the order a month in advance, and they no longer came through on their guarantee. So,
Yeah,
yes, it is broccoli.
I guess we'll buy a bunch of Red Bulls and we'll get a Sharpie and
Yeah. This is Welp's fuel.
yeah.
But on the bright side, we do have a special guest looking to make our show a little better looking, if I may.
Impossible.
That will be potentially doing the MasterBrews Monday live with from Times Square, bringing you all the NFT New York action.
Sweet.
So we will see. We are waiting on her to confirm.
Yes.
And if she's able to make it and doesn't have prior engagements, yeah, that'll be our new surprise guest for Monday. So you'll want to tune in, see us in New York, see what's going on with the show. We'll give you some updates from the first night. And then, yeah, we'll have a special guest, hopefully, assuming that pans out. So,
yeah. Awesome. And
it
then
is not the Statue of Liberty.
Fair lady.
Because I just realized when a lot of people say they're talking to, her in New York, they mean the statue. But
I have been to Liberty Island, but never up. Can you go up the Statue of Liberty anymore?
You can. I have, and I'll tell you, it's much easier on the inside than the outside.
Okay.
Scaling the outside is pretty rough.
Took me a minute, but I got there eventually. I was casting around in my mind for like, is there outside stairs? I've never. Oh,
no, they're not.
I get it.
But you can also go up. I think you have to take a very special and expensive private tour to go up near the crown, and I don't know if they allow that one anymore. But I know when I went, it wasn't an option budget wise at the time. I was like a teenager.
Right.
And they only let us go like kind of into the feet a little bit, like just above the platform part and some of the way up. But if you were, rich, you could get a private tour and go right into like the very, very top of the torch or the crown or something. So
cool. Very cool. And then I believe you had promised me a little tiny Slipstream update.
Yes. So we just got off the phone with Argentix right before this. And they have addressed the bugs. They have already added in the sound. They've done more. You're able to turn more now. Like you still can't 180 perfectly, but you can now turn full 90 degrees like around. So if you, for some reason, want to go a different route or go a different way, you can start doing that. They've identified and are in the middle of fixing the bug. They said probably by the latest, like Monday or Tuesday, the one where sometimes you slow down just out of the blue, which only seems to happen to me. So that's why I always come.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I was watching it. Only
yeah, they're gonna distribute the items more. I
Cool.
think they're obviously still working on texture improvements and
Yeah.
getting that more polished. So they said the next build we will have will be on probably Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest.
Okay.
So once we get that build, that should be pretty close to our like final demo version. I think it'll be perfectly fine to give out to our Dragon Pass holders, and we can do a special event, trying it out live in New York, and maybe we'll I don't know if we'll have a setup, but I'm like, otherwise it would have been cool to just grab people passing by on the street and make them play it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. We'll
That
see
would
what
be
we can figure out.
Yeah. All right. So that is your Whelps Wednesday for today. Programming note for the next Whelps Saturday, which is we'll be flying to New York. So that
Yeah.
episode may not happen, or it may happen towards the end of the day. But either way, you'll get lots of updates from New York.
It's actually it can probably happen late once we're both in the checked in, because then we got like 2 hours before we got to leave for the Shakespeare thing.
That's right. We'll just do it from our hotel beds. You'll just see us like this on the edge of the bed.
Yeah, I call the right side.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us. Have a great Wednesday.
All right. Goodbye.